All right, hello, this is Trevina Jefferson with The Gift Mission, an initiative of Trepson Operation HR Consulting. And today we're here with Nicole Henderson of Unstoppable Nicole and Break Up to Build Up. So Nicole, tell me a little bit about, you started with Unstoppable Nicole, and now you're branching into this other organization. Tell me, how does that work? How does it, is there anything that links to Unstoppable Nicole? Tell me a little bit about your other organization.
Okay, so Unstoppable Nicole was born out of me writing a book. So I wrote the book called Take It Back, Your Mindset, Your Finances. And when I wrote this book, the business spun out of me writing the book. I started doing interviews. The book became #1 bestseller international bestseller on Amazon, and everybody's like, you have to share your story, you have to do more, you do so much for single mothers, and you even know how to do it. So the business was born. It was a for-profit, and we do a lot of coaching, we do a lot of mentoring for single mothers, showing them how to co-parent, how to not even co-parent, but to take care of themselves so that they can take care of their children. And what I was running into, a lot of the mothers could not afford the coaching and mentoring that they so desperately need. And by trade, I'm a registered nurse, and I'm also a veteran. And I could not afford to keep doing it from my own pocket. So that's how Break Up to Build Up, our nonprofit, was born, because it saw that the single working mother didn't have the resources to help take care of herself. And this nonprofit is 501(c) approved, and now we partner with other organizations to help these women bridge the gap in the resources that they need, anywhere from food insecurities, after school programs, childcare, learning how to eat healthy, learning how to prevent stroke and cardiac disease.
Now, I want to back up to something you said about you couldn't afford to keep doing out of your pocket. Now, I think at some point you said you've been doing this maybe 10, 15 years, helping mothers out of your home. Something like that, right?
Yes. So in 2002, I literally had one of my friends come down. She moved from New York, and she couldn't bring her child at the time because she just couldn't afford to bring her down here. But she was able to get a job, and after we got her the job, she was able to get her car, because you have to have transportation in the Hampton Roads area. And then after that, we got her own apartment, and then she was able to bring her daughter down. And all of this, she always said she couldn't have did it without my support, but it just came natural to me because as a single mom, I knew what I needed. I just was in a better position because my career as a registered nurse afforded me to. But one of our biggest moments is when one of our members that's on the board, she was abandoned by her husband with a 3-month-old and a 5-year-old. And she was stressed out, hair falling out, not eating right, not able to take care of herself. And I literally moved her and her children into my home. And she didn't qualify for the services because she was still working, and her income exceeded the threshold to receive help by $50. I mean, come on. There's not enough people running these services to say, hey, let's bring them in for an interview, or let's call them. Let's see where this $50 is, to where we can help them with services, because that's not a lot. And the cost of living right now is more than what even SNAP benefits will give you. So when I moved her in, she became interested in being a registered nurse, and I helped her on that career path. I coached and I mentored her, and then our group of nurses helped her with childcare. And at one time, she was able to afford to at least get help with groceries, and this helped her and her children. And then on the career path, she hit it 2 years than traditional standards. And not only she was able to leave, but she was able to thrive. She now owns her own house. Her children have their own bedrooms, and they're thriving. And that's what every single working mother that I've come across needs. They just need a little bit of time with a little bit of help financially, community, knowledge. How do I bring it all together? It's not just about they need the money. They need the money, but they need the knowledge. They need the community to support them to get to the next step.
Now, you also, in this organization, offer some coaching and mentorship programs, right? Some career pathway type things as well, right?
I do. So I also can certify anyone, but I love it when my single working mothers do it for extra income, to be a life coach or a spiritual life coach. And that helps them to help others, right? Because we're all a step ahead of someone else. And in this community, to help the next person behind and say, hey, listen, this is how I did it. And they can coach and mentor, because we do it all day. We have to multitask so many things as single working mothers. And we're usually the one helping other people.
Right, right. And you're also doing some things with medical and health coaching as well, right? Because you were already doing that.
Yeah.
You know, 1 or 2 people have already been through this. How are we going to get to being a registered nurse,
right?
You know, quickly? And that's such a need, you know, in the community right now.
It is. It's a need, and it's not easy. So you need the support of them knowing that your coach and your mentor knowing the ins and outs, and how to get you to become an RN faster, but also making sure you have that family support, because there are clinicals that you have to get to, and that's not at the school. And there are different shifts you have to do your clinicals in, and everybody's not going to get the safe day shift. And
did you have a day shift?
I did not have the day shift. I had the night shift clinicals. Hence to where I really do enjoy working nights more than I do working days. So, you know, it's also easier for a single working mom to work nights, because then you're not missing too much time with your children. So, you know, we show all of those angles of aspect of working and spending time with your children and making memorable memories with them, because it goes by so fast, and it's because you're on a hustle and you're on just a surviving concept. And we're trying to teach you how not to be on a hustle, but how to build your own community, and not to be on the grinding, but actually maneuvering through healthy.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned healthy. What were you saying? There was something about how single moms may have some issues with some health issues due to some stress that you mentioned before.
So cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of women. There's 1 in 3 deaths per year, according to the American Heart Association. But single working mothers are actually at a 40% higher risk for cardiac disease and 74% higher risk of stroke. And both of those have some preventable measures in it. But a single working mom, they don't have time to find that out. They don't have time to adhere by those things, because they have to do life now. Yeah. They have to feed their children now. They have to provide shelter for their children now. So what happens? Mom's health gets declined.
Yeah, and that's kind of what happened to M.Ed as well. You said her hair was falling out.
Her hair was falling out. She wasn't eating right. It was cheaper to actually take the children through the drive-through than it was to go to the grocery store. And that's a problem, and it's a trap, right? Because now, if you're always in a drive-through line, it's because of timing, right? Because you have to work overtime, or you have to get that second job, and sometimes you're just tired. In regards to also you just not having enough money to buy that healthy food. So now you have that child at a higher risk of having high cholesterol, of having high blood pressure, of having diabetes. And these are children coming in to the ER with these issues.
Yeah. Wow. And I think too, you were mentioning a really big initiative that Break Up to Build Up is doing, because you're moving from, hey, everybody's not gonna live in my home now. What's the next initiative?
So now, yes, she is correct. We want to buy, not build, we want to buy a transition home. So a home that's already in a good neighborhood. And most people don't know that in some of these cities, your elementary schools and your middle schools are not accredited. And to me, that's a problem, because how are you teaching? How are you the local zone public school and you're not accredited?
Right.
That blew my mind. So as the time went by and I was raising my sons and I saw this as an issue, I took whatever money I had and I put my children in private school until they can get into the magnet school. And that was a burden. And it was putting me in debt. I'm not even going to sit here and act like I can afford it, but I had to give them the best chance that I could. But I was afforded that because of my career. Not every single working mom can afford that. And so why should the children have to suffer, especially when, don't we have the lottery system? Like, people play the lottery and that money is supposed to go to schools.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It can't. There's no way if in our own cities that our zone public schools are not accredited.
Yeah, that's a whole issue in itself.
So we want this house to be in an accredited school system area. Mm-hmm. We want it to have at least 5 bedrooms and 3 baths. And we want a big chef kitchen, right? Because we're going to bring in private chefs to come in, teach the moms how to cook healthy meals, how to shop for healthy meals, but then also their children, right? It's nothing better to see a child pick an apple over a donut, right? And knowing why this is the better choice. Yeah. And also the older teenagers helping cook so that the younger ones can have a healthy meal until mom can come in from work. Because a lot of times single working moms are working 2 jobs or overtime. Mm-hmm. And in this house, we will also be bringing other entities. We'll bring in tutors. We're bringing a psychotherapist to help with that counseling for the mom. They will also have coaching and mentoring. And another one that I love that they will have their own space. And they will take 6 months to save and budget. Guess what? We're bringing in financial advisors. We're bringing in how to do life insurance, living wills, power of attorneys. Like, this mission is not small. We want them to be able to sustain themselves once they leave. Take all of everything that we've given them for this 6 months and be able to thrive like a net.
Yes, absolutely. A really impactful mission. And that's one of the things that we look at. Folks in the community that are just overflowing with gifts and talents that can spread that through the community, cross borders, into states, other areas. We really look to spotlight those types of things. Let me ask you a question. On this journey for the nonprofit, you came into a black brand program, B-Force. Mm-hmm. Trevina Operation and HR Consulting is a lead consultant, and we got to work with you. So tell me a little bit about your experience with that. How is the nonprofit different from going through the process with the for-profit?
Okay, so I would definitely say that I couldn't have done it without a lead consultant. So if you don't have a business consultant in your life, please do get one, okay? It's so different. The paperwork, all from even filing your taxes, what you can claim, what you can get paid, what in one aspect you have bylaws, and in another part you have SOPs. It's so different. In one part you can't get money for this, and in this one you can get all the money for this, but and so I tell people it's a lot of rules and regulations when you're running a nonprofit. So I'm thankful for going through B-Force and having the resources that this 12 weeks have given us, because you literally are starting from, I just want to help. I just want to impact. I just want to give life skills. I want to show these women how to do it. But not knowing that it's just not like, hey, I have a cause, and the funders say, hey, here's the money. Oh no, it is so many rules of what you can and cannot do, what you and that's so important, right? Because you don't want your name in the mud because you did something wrong. So you have to educate yourself and, always have a mentor to guide you through it. So I know for sure that you would not make it without someone leading the way to help you with these entities.
There's so much, involved, especially for CEOs. Those founding organizations are wearing multiple hats, no matter who's on the board. You're wearing all the hats, and sometimes it's just really a good support to have another executive-minded person alongside you, helping with that strategy, implementing things with you. It kind of, to me, like, we try to pride ourselves on increasing the capacity for CEOs and giving them back the confidence to rest. Because you can't really, you're thinking about, oh, I need to do this event, I need to also be at that, and I need to be over here, and I need to do that. Who's going to make sure this thing is done for me? So Nicole, with all of those things that you talked to us about today, I want to know, how can people help support your cause, the services, help fund the house? How can they reach you? How can they help fund it?
So you can go to breakuptobuildup.org. There's a few initiatives there that you can donate to. You can do open donation, and you can also you can say, hey, you know what? I want to give to the groceries, or I want to give to the after school program, or I want to give to the house. Whichever way you give, we also make sure you can give through a personal note too, and you can say, I'm giving this in memory of this person, or I'm giving in the name of this person and why. And we will post those messages on another page, and just and if you want to be anonymous, you just let us know that too, because we appreciate your help. So we're looking for sponsors, we're looking for donors, we're looking for corporations who have grants that are available for this, because I can tell you right now, everybody knows at least one single mother, if or not you was raised by a single mother. And if you was raised by a single mother, you just think of what you had to go through and those hard times, and how strong your mother was through those times. And if she had just a little bit more help, you could have thrived even more, right? And not taking from who you are today, because we all are stronger because of maybe adversity that we had to deal with, right? But how much and more impactful could we be if we were able to help?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I saw statistics that over 50% of families are run by single moms. So you have to know somebody. There's a friend. 1 and 2, there she is.
There she is. There she is. A friend, a coworker, aunt, your grandmother, she might have raised your mom and the siblings. So it's just a sister. I do have a testimony from a person that I know, and he was like, Nicole, I wish my sister had your program when she was in college, because she gave up, she dropped out, and she's still not to where she wants to be. And she's so defeated at this point in her life that I don't even think she would be open to coming to a program like you, because she's just so defeated. But I know if she had you in your program at that point in her life, she would be doing it totally different.
Yeah, it takes a village. You're getting up the mental health, which you do. We know the statistics for dropouts among moms is high. For that reason, they're stressed, they're defeated, they don't have anybody to help. And that village mentality that you help create in your program, I think, really helps people thrive. It's like, I'm not doing this alone.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Well, that's all we have for today, folks. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all later. Bye-bye.
Yeah, so we had to do that interview with Nicole Henderson. Hi, everyone. Trevina Jefferson here again with the GIFT mission, an initiative of Trepson Operations and HR Consulting, which we specialize in fractional executive support for minority and women-owned businesses and nonprofits to increase their capacity. And we also specialize in teacher recruitment and retention with the 20 years of nonprofit and business experience that we have in education. So I do want to just share with you also a pitch that Nicole Henderson did. We worked with 400 Frames on developing her story and also the pitch deck. And she did a really good job. She did this pitch a couple of weeks ago. So I'm just going to share that with you. Take a look at that.
Growing up in the New York City projects in the crack era was anything but safe. I remember us outside playing with my best friend, and I'm on my roller skates, and she's riding her bike. And drug dealers come through the park, and they start shooting over our heads to the drug dealers that are in the back at a building. And we're running for our lives, basically. My mom said, this is enough. So at 5 years old, she sent me through this program called the Fresh Air Fund. And in that program, they take the inner city youth and put them in the suburbs. So this is my white family, and I love them. We are family till today. I went from walking to my apartment door, passing crackheads, smoking in the hallway, and my 3-bedroom, 1-bath apartment with 5 people in it, and bars on my window, to a 4-floor house with just us, me getting lost in the house. Walking 2 blocks to the beach. This is something I could never do. I was walking over crack vials in New York City. And now I'm walking to the beach, and we belong to a yacht club. So you know you couldn't tell me nothing when I got back to the project. 15.78 million children live with their single mothers. And 35% of the children live below the poverty line. This is what it costs right here. $4,007 right now today to live in Virginia with the HRBT. Let me tell you what is significant about that pass. When I was in my junior year of college, I had my son. I took a 7-day-old to my final exam, breastfed him while I took my exam, handed him off to my instructor, and she birthed him and put him back in his car seat. I did not give up. Most women will give up once they're in college and pregnant with a child. Moving forward, my son was ready to eat real food. And I said, let me go ask for assistance. I went to ask for assistance, and they literally told me that I did not qualify because I had a car in my name. Oh, because if you didn't know, they pull your credit. And I saw then that the system was broken. And I started taking in women in my house in 2002 because of this right here. Your income cannot exceed this, $3,288, but it costs this for every single working mother. Cardiac disease is the #1 killer of women. So 1, 2, 3, you're dead. Single working mothers are at an increased risk of by 40% of cardiac disease, which is preventable, and also 74% of stroke. One of our founders, when she was not the founder, came to me, hair falling out, overstressed. Her husband just abandoned her 3-year-old and her 5-year-old. And she didn't know what to do. So we instead developed a plan for her to come in and and live with me and to pursue her career of being a nurse. Our system is broken. It doesn't allow for you to have a head start or even get the support that you need while you're going. We are going to fund our mission by having donors, grants, sponsorship, this grant today. And unfortunately, we don't have any competitors because the market is too big. Our main goal is to get a house to transition these moms in. We'll have a private chef to come in, teach the mom and their children how to cook healthy meals. We'll have tutors, we'll have a psychotherapist on class, and these people we already have in place. But today, with the $2,500 grant, we will, myself and the other founder who became a registered nurse, will get our CPR instructor certifications, because when you think about a single working mom, a lot of times the older kids have to watch the younger ones. So what if that younger one chose? And being that the mom is at increased risk for cardiac disease and stroke, what if that teenager can save that mom's life because they know what to do? We're also going to secure a space to do monthly workshops. And in these workshops, they are going to bring in people to help them with power of attorneys, living wills, life insurance. Because what happens if something happens to that mom? Where are those children going to go? Where is her support system? I'm Nicole Henderson, founder and executive director of Break Up to Build Up, where we are going to bridge the gap and give those women these resources for 6 months at a time. We're also going to be hybrid, so the same classes that we'll be in person getting, they will be getting online. And health and wellness is not given in our community enough. It's talked about, but not practical application. So at Break Up to Build Up, after every woman goes through the program, they always know this one thing. I come from a broken situation. We've been through a broken situation. Broken things have happened to us, but we will never stay broken.
All right.
Yeah, it was such a wonderful time talking with Nicole about a week ago about just the organization, what it's doing, where it's going. And it's such an important mission to support single working mothers. Mine also was single for a while. It's something that we definitely have in this country that needs to be addressed. And some of the systems that we have in place within the government simply do not cover all of the needs the single working mothers have and need. And so I'm so happy that Nicole is helping to bridge the gap that does exist here, especially in our community here, and hope to see that in other areas. Thank you so much for joining us today with our Monday lunches, our Mind and Heart business series, and we will see you next Monday. Thank you so much.